Well, it's been a week since download. Welcome to the deep dive. We have a lot to discuss. We have quite a lot to discuss. Hopefully you've already seen the vlog from the weekend. We've had it's the best video we've put out so far. Like, to reach 500 views in 3 days is incredible. Thank you so much for your support. Now, if we can get those subscribers up, that would be absolutely incredible. But this is going to be a little more of a
bitch.
Yeah, we're going to have a moan. There are some positives, but we are going to have a bit of a moan because we were promised that accessibility would be 10 times better this year, and at most it was probably 1.5 to 2. There were.
I mean, that's
generous. Like, okay, yes, the layout of the campsite, it was slightly better. It was easier for people to get to tents, but we didn't have the great big massive trackway. So,
well,
give a little, take a
little. Why don't we start at the very beginning with the application?
Yes. So obviously you'll have seen our video.
It's a bit much when two idiots from the northeast have to put out a 2-part video.
Yes.
Explaining what to do for people who've never applied for access before, because the process is so complicated.
Yes. I mean, to be fair to download, we did the first video, which was actually applying for the Nimbus Access Pass, and we thought, great, it'll be 2-3 weeks. We didn't have to think about it. I think it
was a day.
Not long edited and uploaded that first video when Dan got the email saying, here's your Nimbus Access Pass, we can now apply for access.
Yeah, it was a 24-hour turnaround.
Yeah, so that was brilliant. We were like, that was giving us good vibes. That was hopeful. Yeah. That was us thinking, this is going to be infinitely better. We're going to have a great time, even if it does hail.
You started so well, download.
Yes. What went wrong?
You really started so well. Then there was there usually is. There was a solid 6 or 7 week wait.
Yeah, but we had that in 2022, and we had that in 2023 as well, because obviously they've got to process it all and work out where to put people, what to allocate certain things, and we expected that wait.
We were waiting for that, and of course, like everybody else was.
Yeah.
When we read through it and we saw parking.
Yes.
Parking passes will be mailed out, posted out.
Yes.
All right, that's fine. I mean, in our indifference to us, we will say we got the email then with a different address because I was going to Ben's parents.
Yeah,
that
was on us. We're not like most people in that sense. Is we spend a couple of days before the festival at my parents' house to sort of hang out together because we don't really see each other, so it's a good chance to sort of catch up, have a few bevs, recuperate from work and all that kind of thing before we actually go to the festival and make plans,
and work essentially.
Yeah,
in my case.
Yeah, it's those 2-3 days before the festival for me and Dan are our pretty much only preparation time. I saw posts on Facebook from, even 6 weeks before the festival of people that were already starting to pack, get stuff ready. We don't have that luxury. I don't have that time off.
We get 3 days.
Yeah, my packing for download started the Sunday before download, about 3 hours before I got in the car to go pick Dan up, because I don't have that luxury of the time to be able to do that. But yeah, when you've got to email the access team, 2 weeks before the festival, going, still haven't got a car park pass.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
What's happening? So they said, well, email us an address that we can send it to that you will be at before the festival. So we sent my mum and
So I
dad's
did,
address.
and they were fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool. We can do with that. We can do that. And
yeah.
then the day before, I want to say no, it wasn't. It was the Sunday at 9:45 in the evening. I got an email from Ticketmaster saying, "We are aware that you guys are now waiting for physical parking passes. However, that won't be possible to get them sent out and delivered to you guys in enough time for them to arrive. Have a digital one."
Yeah, which will be exchanged on site for your rear mirror tag parking pass. It wasn't.
Spoiler alert, it never was.
No, it wasn't. It was still the printed paper, crappy little one that we had to Sharpie my name and number on. But you know what?
I think
It's fine. It
it's
works.
still crumpled up in your glove box.
It is still crumpled up in my glove box. I might uncrumple it and pin it on the wall on the camp Discord flag that I've got behind me.
Like
Rep the
I
camp
just rage
Discord.
quit. Like I just rage quit download this shit.
Yeah, but you know what? That's fine. We were used to the print off pass. It worked. Just
That's cool.
so, one or the other. Just stick with it.
Our travel from Brighouse to Donington Park is about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on traffic.
Yeah, there or thereabouts.
So that again, we were anticipating. We've done it 3 times at this point.
Yeah,
After last year, we can deal with a bit of traffic.
yeah,
What we weren't anticipating was the further 2.5 hour wait once we got on site to
yes,
get into the campsite.
yeah. That was frustrating because we were told unload and go. You'll be straight onto site, unload your car, and then take it to the car parks. So yeah, I was fully anticipating getting onto site when we arrived at 11:30, and I'd be in the car park by 12:30 at the latest. Unload the car, dump everything. Dan would make friends, crack some beers open. I'd go park the car, come back and pitch up.
I mean, granted, that happened anyway. The lads that we were camping next to were fucking
Yes,
superstars.
that was great.
If you end up seeing this video, big up to you guys.
However, nearly 2.5, 3 hours just to get onto campsite is ridiculous. But not only that, it was 2.5, nearly 3 hours to wait to get onto campsite with zero facilities other than the car.
Yes. Luckily, I had a medical grade P-ball with us.
That came in very handy.
So we both used that.
Yeah.
So
I asked the Download Access unofficial Facebook group if they had anything they wanted to add, and there was one person who had the the quick toilet access and all that kind of thing, who said when they asked one of the stewards while they were waiting in the queue what they were supposed to do if they needed the toilet, I think the term they used was, well, just go over to the barrier and squat.
Yeah, we saw a couple of ladies having to do that.
Like, if you're going to do this queuing system and you anticipate people waiting for that long, just bang a couple of portaloos in there for the day. There can be ones from the arena.
It's not even anticipating people waiting that long. It's the fact that they made people with physical needs and obvious access needs in some cases.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But you know what? Everyone was lovely that we encountered in that time anyway. They were explaining what was going on. It had rained a little bit, so they didn't want the ground to get too churned up. But, you know, once we were onto site, fine. We got pitched up, we got sorted fine, and it was just a bit of a shitty start to the weekend. But we made it work. That's out the way and dealt with now.
Yes, so that was getting in and getting pitched.
Yeah. Tedious, dull, but we made it.
However, I did miss Veiled, which I was pissed about.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we didn't get wristbanded until about 7:30. Well, I didn't get wristbanded until about 7:30.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it was 20-7 because I made a huge point of that in that clip.
Was it?
On the video, it was 20-7 that we were on the way back from getting wristbanded.
Right.
But that's ridiculous when we arrived on site at 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Nearly 7 hours to get our wristbands. When last year it was a case of we drove onto site, we went to the access tent, we got our wristbands, and then we drove to our pitch in the space of an hour. If that.
Yeah.
So
to be fair, that hour was wonderful because we did manage to meet Grace and Tom and
yeah,
Holly.
Yeah,
all that wonderful lot.
We've made friends for life from that little time period.
Yeah.
But when they say they've improved accessibility and conditions, and then you have to wait nearly 6 times as long to get to the same point.
And can you believe that this isn't even the worst part?
No. So.
Yeah. So we then had to go and collect my scooter, which was fine.
Yeah, that was no problem. It was in the tent ready.
It does nicely bring us to a point that Ben would like to bring up that has been sent to us from another member of the Facebook group.
Yes.
So, Ben.
So, you may or may not be aware that in the accessible campsite there is a little white marquee that has power provisions to charge wheelchairs and scooters, because obviously you're taking an electric wheelchair and scooter to a festival, it needs to be charged. So they've got provision for that. However, the tent was way smaller than it should have been for the amount of people that had them. And that was not including people who had brought their own. There was barely enough space for just all the hired scooters. But it also was pointed out that people were unplugging wheelchairs and scooters that were charging, that were nearly dead, to charge a battery pack and a phone. Fair enough, some people were unplugging them to move the charging brick off the wet ground when it had started raining. But people were unplugging mobility aids to charge their mobile phones. For the love of all that is good, please, 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 please do not do that. Because that could be the difference between someone having a really good day at the festival or not having a day at the festival. If someone had unplugged Dan's scooter overnight, we would have been sat in campsite for a day, waiting for the scooter to charge. And we would have missed umpteen bands that we wanted to go and see. And we would have been sat miserable in the tent. Okay, we had Dan's wheelchair with us, but there was no way we would have been able to use that in the arena. We would have got stuck as soon as we got through the gate.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I
people
got
did.
stuck on the Sunday.
Yeah, Dan's off-road full high-power scooter got stuck. We'll
get to that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Also, I'm repping the download merch with my cup.
I am not.
Oh.
But I am. Sort of. I've got my one of my t-shirt on.
Fair enough. I have my Download 03 t-shirt on.
Very nice. But also, did you like the segue? I'm quite proud of that.
Yes.
Quite proud of that segue. That was quite good.
Here's the segue to our sponsor, Audible. No, we are not sponsored by Audible. But Audible, if you're listening.
This video is brought to you by Rage. I don't know.
Oh God, I would never, ever, ever accept a sponsorship by them.
No, absolutely not.
But we're going off on a massive tangent, and we can't be doing this because we're already 15 minutes into the video and we've talked about 2 topics.
It's going to be a long video. We're still only on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll say that Wednesday night, what a great time.
Wednesday night was brilliant. And
we hung out with our beautiful friends.
It makes all the difference having the village on the hard standing, because even if it is hooning it down with rain, that is the one place that you're pretty much not going to have any issues, because it's all tarmac and there's a great big tent and you can stay dry, which we did.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Beautiful. And coming home was a bit moist.
Yeah.
But we got to spend a wonderful evening with our beautiful, gorgeous friends.
Yeah.
And
it really set the festival off in the right way for us. It always does. Like the main thing for us on that Wednesday is meeting up with everyone from the Discord or everyone who's there or who can,
Yeah.
and just getting together because most of the time we don't see each other apart from download.
No, no.
You know,
I mean,
every
we
once in a
try.
while, every once in a while, like Dan saw Kelsey and a couple of other people. What about 2.5 months back-ish? Maybe a bit sooner than
Uh,
that.
it was March.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
And
Lurch and Amy
yeah,
about a month before as well.
I'm genuinely surprised I don't see Lurch more often because we live in the
So,
same
yeah,
city. But
yeah,
and we've caught up with Rob at gigs and things like that. But
yeah, man.
that
In September, we'll be meeting up with a bunch of them as well
yeah,
because
because
we're
Cannibal
going to see
Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse in September, and
Um, Stay tuned for that
um,
video.
they're planning on some drinks with us and spoons before the gig for my birthday or something
Yeah,
apparently. So
nice. But
that
yeah,
could be
that Wednesday meetup, that Wednesday in the doghouse in the village is when we know we've arrived at download. That is
that. That is my one hammered day.
yes, and really it was your only one hammered day this year as opposed to previous years because of the weather.
Yeah, yeah. I was drinking coffee this year.
Yeah, like it's never happened before at any festival or
No,
gig we've gone to where Dan's turned around and goes, "Dude, I need a coffee." Uh,
I was
uh,
drinking coffee.
like, are you feeling all right? No, I'm freezing. I don't want beer.
No.
I want coffee.
Uh,
Okay, fair enough.
Again, once we get to the Sunday, we'll expand on this a bit more. But I was done
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
end of the Sunday.
And I want to put this out publicly that I am incredibly grateful for Dan for powering through to the end of Avenged Sevenfold for me. Because,
No, I was running on empty.
yeah,
Like pure fume.
yeah.
Like,
I think, to be fair, to an extent, we all were. Because it had been such a crappy weather weekend. But it was
yeah,
made up for the fact by we had loads of good people around us, a lot of good music, and each other to just lean on. There was a couple of times that we both just like curled into a ball because
yeah.
we were done.
There was some beautiful moments during Avenged set where
Yeah,
I thought of. I don't know if he'd done it consciously, but like he would be singing his head off, and then we'd look behind, and I'd be singing along too, and he'd be fucking beaming.
yeah,
And I was like, "That's what Download's all about."
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Apologies for some
yeah,
technical difficulties. Dan's video has frozen. It's probably my internet, but we're just going to keep going with it.
yeah, fuck it, we ball.
Oh, there we go. He's there.
We're filming on. We're doing this punk. It's DIY. Let's
Yeah,
fucking do it.
this is all done through Streamlabs, and I'm just straight recording it. So
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
anyway, so where are we? We are Thursday. Thursday was
Thursday morning.
relatively incident free.
Yeah, we didn't really do a lot on Thursday. I mean, as you saw in the video, we went out and got some breakfast.
Oh wait, no, stop, behave. No, it wasn't. No, Thursday was the morning when we went to the toilet in the camp
Oh,
at 7, and
yeah.
it wasn't food, so we thought, fuck it, we'll make do.
Yeah.
Like it's a festival, and sometimes you need to go when you need to go.
Yeah.
And so I've done what I had to do, and then we went and met CJ and his good lady, and Dylan and Jazz in the village for breakfast.
Yeah. Which was really
Which was
nice,
beautiful.
actually.
And then I had a wonderful, wonderful morning.
Those sausage sandwiches were pretty damn good compared to last
They
year.
were. The bacon was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the same van as last year as well. I was impressed.
Yeah. And then we thought, fuck it, we're going to head back. We'll get changed and stuff. We'll get ready. We'll fucking enjoy the day. We'll make something of it,
Yeah. I think we went.
And,
did we go up in the chair for breakfast, or did we go up in the scooter?
Scooter all day then.
Because Thursday was merch day as well.
Yeah.
So we did go up in the chair at some point for merch because we wanted to go around the megastore, and there was no way the scooter was getting around that.
Yeah, that was later in the day. That was just before we met up with Esty and Kieran.
Yeah. But
So yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, so we went back, and I thought, all right, cool, we'll get ready for the day. Like put my proper people clothes on.
Put your
Not
big boy
just my
pants on.
look. Yeah, not just my look. I've just woke up pants.
Mm.
My proper look. Don't now look snazzy with my ripped skinny jeans on, kind
Yes.
of pants. No, I didn't. In fact, by the end of the weekend, my knees were sunburned, as was my thigh.
Common
I know
occurrence.
it was raining. I've got no idea. Um,
Oh.
I know it was too. Um,
Yeah.
like fucking, I don't know. Like I think I'm just allergic to breathing at this point. Like honestly, but yeah. So I
Oh.
got changed and stuff, and then I thought, right, I need the loo. All right. Ben was like, "That's cool. We'll go to the loo before we head back up there."
Yeah.
This is a good 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Easily, if not 3 or 4.
Toilet still hadn't been cleaned.
Yeah. And several people had pointed this out to the accessible stewards around the campsite. They
And
said, yeah, we're on it. We're getting them
God,
clean straight away.
God love the access team in the campsite. They were fucking superstars.
They were.
Shout out to that one. Shout out to that one particular bird from heaven. Can't remember her name, but she was a scream.
Yes,
Um,
she was. And to
uh,
the two lovely lasses that ended up helping me set up the tent. Because,
yes, they were lovely as well.
yeah, there's no way I could have done that on my own. We are going smaller next year, don't worry.
I've been shopping today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found one.
Yes.
Not too bad.
But yes,
Uh,
the toilet situation in camp was ridiculous.
and it
Like,
got progressively worse as the
yeah, I
weekend went
mean,
on.
the campsite was sort of split into, let's say, 4 quadrants.
I'm gonna let you rant. I need to go for a wee, so just
Okay,
gonna pop you down.
aye,
Right,
no worries.
just go off, babe.
If I finish my rant, I'll just sort of skip the next part. But yes,
I'll be right back.
so the camp was split into 4 quadrants. You had arena entrance here, campsite entrance over here, and a big road connecting them, with another road down the middle that we drove on to get in, as you'll have seen in the video. So for the RIP entrance side of camp, there were probably close to 30 or 40 portaloos, accessible and non-accessible, plus the cabin type ones and showers and everything. And on our side of the camp, there were 8 accessible and 6 non-accessible. For what I could imagine is close to 500, maybe more people. Why? Why? Like, it's not hard. There was plenty of space to put more. Like, loads of space to put more. But they expected everyone to go over to the other side of camp, which could be a good 10-minute walk for some people, just to use the toilet. Really? Really? I'm going to wait till Dan gets back. We'll catch up with you in a couple of minutes. And we're back. Dan is back. I am back. So we were halfway through Thursday talking about toilets.
Yes.
Rant
So,
over. Yeah.
I'm pleased you think so.
Yeah. Well, rant over about toilets for now.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more.
Yes.
But yeah, so that Thursday we sort of it started to rain
Yeah. Yeah, it got a bit miserable.
biblically, so we just sort of bailed back to the tent. And I messaged one of our Discord server, Esty, and her partner, who were camped behind us.
Yeah, just round the corner.
Yep, and asked, "Do you want to come hang out, have a few beers? And we'll just, camp out in our tent for a bit."
Yeah.
And so we did. We had a few beers. We had a very good, fun night.
Yeah.
And Kieran mentioned that one of his friends was performing in the comedy tent
Yes.
that evening. So we decided, sure, why not? If they don't mind, we'll join you. So we went up and enjoyed an hour of The Dark Room.
Which was great.
With Robotron, and it was funny as fuck.
It was hilarious. And you are all now known as Darren.
Yeah, that was something I never anticipated my download 2024 would involve.
No?
Having a girl that I'd known, spoken to a couple of times online, met an hour or two before the show, look me dead in the eye and call me Darren. It was
Yeah.
it was a moment.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But it was fun. Before
yeah.
we went back to camp, though, we did go and check out Number of the Beef.
Right, did we?
Yes, they were the band that were doing the GTA thing in the doghouse.
I'll take your word for it.
When we were trying to find Kelsey and people, that was sort of earlier on Thursday, which they were pretty cool, to be fair. They were decent. But yeah, then it started getting cold and rainy, so we went back to camp and hung out with SD and Kieran, and it was actually quite a chilled out, nice afternoon.
It was. It was a very adult,
Yeah, like proper
very responsible evening.
like proper conversations, and modicum of decencies, and like adult drinks, and yeah, it was nice. Completely
Just
out of proportion for download.
short of a fucking cheese board, we were
Exactly, yeah.
yeah.
But then, yeah. So once the dark room had finished, we were knackered. We were done for the day. So we went to bed pretty early on Thursday. It probably didn't help that we stayed up until gone 3 on Wednesday, and we were up fairly early because it was a warm, dry morning on Thursday. So I think
warm, dry morning, all of the days.
Yeah, I think we were up and awake for probably 8:30, 9 o'clock on Thursday morning.
If I remember rightly, that day I got up before you.
Yeah, you were awake before me, but it wasn't stupidly late.
No.
But yeah, so yeah, but then we were like, well, we want to be up and getting ourselves sorted, ready for the arena on Friday. So we'll go straight to bed.
Arena dinner, so,
Yeah. But yeah, so it was a sort of chilled out day, fairly early night, which takes us into Friday.
It does. So yeah, we were up about 8 a.m. Friday morning.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Done our toilet things for as you do in the morning.
Yeah, and it was actually Friday morning where they eventually put trackway down to get to the toilets.
Yeah, that was good of them.
Yeah, the first couple of days it was easier to drag Dan backwards in the chair. If I tried pushing him forwards, he basically just nearly fell out of it about 5 times in the space of 3 meters.
That was a lot to do with the fact that there were tractor marks, divots from a tractor on the grass.
Yeah, so they eventually put the white trackway down to get to the toilets, which helped massively. But should have
it did.
Yeah, it should have been done in the first place anyway. But just another thing to add to the list for next year, please download. Yeah. But yes, Friday started off really nice. As you can see in the video, it was, we were both in t-shirts, and
it was great.
We were
getting came on.
Yeah, and it started raining sideways.
Yeah, Hannibal came on, and we're like, all right, this is cool. For the first 15 minutes of their half-an-hour set, having a really great time.
Yeah.
And then the fucking heavens opened.
Yeah.
And then we were like...
beeline to Avalanche.
I was like, dude, I can't do this. This is... I need to get in shelter.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was us and all 70,000 others.
Yeah. Because we didn't really want to stick around and watch Scene Queen on second stage.
But, I would really like to have seen Scene Queen. But
even if it wasn't sideways rain and it was just downwards rain, we still would have ended up going, because there's nothing worse than sitting up above everyone, exposed when it's raining. It's
the wind as well, because Donington Park's such a wind trap.
Yeah. So sacrifice one of the weekend was sod off Scene Queen. Let's get into the Avalanche, get dry, get as warm as we can, which did work in our favour.
Yeah, it did introduce us to a couple of wonderful bands as well, like Dreamscape
Yeah, they were great.
and Aviva were fantastic as
Yeah,
well.
and for me as well, it
So
was Escape the Fate because I'd never seen them live before, and I'd
yeah,
only ever heard a couple of their tracks, and they're really, really good.
it was
Um,
good to see them skip the fit again.
yeah,
They're playing smaller venues now, but they've certainly improved.
yeah, um,
Um,
but yeah, I think it worked in our favour that we went to Avalanche when we did,
yeah, yeah,
purely
massive.
because if we had waited till after seeing Queen, we wouldn't have got in at all.
No,
It was
especially
the
stupid stuff.
platform was already pretty full when we arrived, um, and about an hour later there were queues all the way back to basically the walkway between Second and Avalanche. There were queues all the way back to there for access patrons to get in, and I did feel a little bit iffy the fact that we were sat there with the scooter, but also I didn't because we have as much right to be there as anyone else.
Yeah,
Um,
and we weren't the only scooter user on the platform.
no.
So
It did mean, though, that because it was so difficult to get the scooter in and out, Dan did a lot of walking that day to get to and from the toilet.
yeah,
And I think he impressed both me and himself with how much he did.
yeah, yeah,
It was very helpful that the Portaloos were right at the bottom of the ramp.
that did help a great deal.
Um, and they weren't massively busy most of the day,
No,
even though there were only two accessible toilets in third stage platform.
the only wait I had at Avalanche was when I decided to go for pee just before Busted.
Yeah,
But that was purely just so I could pee before Busted.
yeah.
Like
But I think,
that, that wasn't a need. That was more of a like
yeah,
when you go and try for a week.
yeah,
Well,
but
it was one of them sort of
yeah,
deals.
and I
Uh,
think a lot of people had the same idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Um,
and I just a couple of personal ones for me. These are both good. Which is a fucking change for me with this video.
yeah, yeah. It has all been
Um,
pretty negative so far.
there aren't many, but these two are these two are. So first off, I just want to say shout out to my friend Christina for making me laugh and smile during Busted
Yes,
because that was just wonderful, and it was always nice to see somebody who can't attend the festival enjoying it along with me.
yes,
So yeah, that was nice.
yeah,
And also special shout out to the lady working the access platform.
yes. Helen,
I
she
can't
was
remember the lady. Yeah, Helen,
Helen.
that was her.
She was incredible. Like she would bend over backwards to help us.
A delight.
Yeah, and special shout out for Wednesday. That was the day we finally at download got to try Bunny Chow.
Yes, that
And
Friday. Yeah.
my god, that Friday was it good. Because it was
Mhm.
cold, it was wet, it was miserable, and then I turn up with two great big baps of chili, and I saw Dan smile for the first time in about 4 hours that day.
Excuse me a second, bud. I need to go back to the loo.
Okay.
Chat away.
Yeah, huge shout out to Bunny Chow because arguably the best food of the festival for me anyway. If you haven't had Bunny Chow before, it is a hollowed out half of bread with chili con carne, bit of sour cream, and then the toasted filling from the bread on top. So good. Like, they are going to be a must have for every other festival we do now if they're there. Yeah. But, like, they were so good that they're the only place we went to twice. Like, last year we did pizzas for like 3 or 4 times, but from different vendors. But yeah, Bunny Chow we went to twice, and it was so good and so warming and filling, and compared to a lot of the other places, pretty reasonably priced as well. Yeah, it was a trek to go get coffee though. I had to go halfway across the arena. That wasn't fun. But yeah, I'm going to wait till Dan gets back. We will catch you in a couple of minutes. Right, we're back. Sorry about that, but needs must.
Yeah,
Ooh, excuse
honestly,
me.
trust me, much better than the alternative.
Absolutely. So yes, where were we? We were Friday on the platform. That's the
Every
second time I've done this. Hey, but I
That's
did,
not.
I did. Did you catch in the video when
Yes, I
the
did.
Tuesday Thursday thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you also notice earlier you said Wednesday instead of Friday?
did I?
Hmm.
Oh well. Um,
That's in there. That's going
yeah,
to be in the video.
yeah, yeah. Um,
It's gonna haunt. It's gonna haunt you for the
it
rest of the
is.
time.
Oh well. Cool. So yes, Friday on the platform. All in all,
Yeah,
other than the weather, it was a good day.
it was fantastic, and I finally got to see Busted. I wish they
Yes,
got longer to play, and I
yes.
wish they had a bigger room, a bigger space.
Mm.
But they
But
were
they
perfect.
requested the tent, didn't they?
I believe so. Very similar to Electric Callboy
Yeah,
in 23.
which I
Yeah.
I was gutted about not being able to see
We'll,
them.
we'll get there, brother. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
So
Um, so
yeah,
yeah,
busted
no,
finished.
we left and went to. So I messaged Esty
Yeah, yeah. They came
about
and
meeting up.
chilled with us
That's
for a little bit after busted, didn't they?
well, right. So we'll get to that. No, but they were going to.
Ah, yes,
So we go to second to meet Esty, and they were like, "Oh no, we don't want you going down there in the scooter
yes.
because the wheels will churn up the mud." And I was looking at them thinking, like, brother, the wheels aren't going to make a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It was
the,
already.
the mud's fucked.
Yeah.
Little fucking extra weight isn't going to make two shits.
No,
Like,
no.
so
But
we chilled up at the top, chilled up at the top on the path.
yeah, caught the end of Funeral for a Friend,
And
which were
yeah,
pretty good.
and Charlie Simpson came out and done a song with them.
Yeah,
So that was pretty fucking cool. We saw Collie, which was lovely,
yeah,
and got hugs and stuff from him. And then we met up with Esty and Kieran again, and we headed off into the sunset
yes.
towards
Via
camp.
watching a little bit of Queens of the Stone Age as we walked
Yeah,
past. Which, to be
yes,
fair, as much as I'm not a huge fan of them, they did sound pretty good.
mm.
This, from what I saw and heard, it was a good show. But again,
um,
no interest.
no, none whatsoever. So yeah, we get back to camp, and I get a message off Esty going, "I've tweaked something in the mud. Come a rain check tonight." We go,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely, no
yeah.
problem. So we did just that and then went to bed because it was an 11 a.m. start the next
Oh, I
morning.
know. Oh, it
So
was horrific.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So we were getting up early because camping.
Yes. I think we
Beautiful
went.
start.
I went and got breakfast
Beautiful
from.
start.
Yeah, it was.
Glorious.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Toilets weren't emptied again.
yeah, of course not.
Um,
And then we were like, right, cool, let's get the second.
yeah,
So we're queuing to get the second. We bump into our friend Chappers, who's like, yeah, so Electric Callboy are on site. It's going to be
yes,
great.
yes,
Like, he was saying, oh, they've been here for a couple of days and stuff like that. They're really excited to play.
yeah,
And, all right, that's cool. That's dope, dude. I hope to God they come out later on with Baby Metal. So wait for that.
yes,
Um, so yeah, well, all right, that's dope. I'm really looking forward to seeing them on Sunday. They're going to be really fucking cool. Baby Metal are going to be awesome today. I hope they do Ratata together.
yeah,
The usual excitement that you get before a day of a festival. Um, so we get to second.
yeah.
We watch Harriet,
Which were pretty good.
who were great. She's
Yeah,
a little firecracker. She's
yes,
absolutely unbelievable.
yes.
Um,
Did we do the platform or the front area for that one?
we were down the front.
Yeah,
Little, just a quick call back to the Friday. I just want to shout out Kelsey and Kyle and Charlie who
yes,
waved to us on the
yes,
platform at second.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. So we watched Harriet and they were fantastic, and we're like, all right, cool, let's get over the main, get our spot, and then we're not moving all day. this is going to be great. Like, the weather seems to be clearing up a bit. You
Yeah,
know, shit seems to be going well.
yeah,
Ooh, how foolish we were.
yeah. Then the heavens opened again.
Yeah, I think our first band on Main that day was Bowling for Soup.
Stand by. Let me find the thing. I have the thing. There is the thing.
Good. I don't know where mine's gone. So
Mine is here. Uh, Saturday main stage. Our first band that we ended up seeing was Frank Carter,
that's right. Yeah,
because Bowling for Soup weren't on until Sunday.
we're until Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. 'Cause it was, yeah, Frank
Yeah.
then
So yeah,
Baby yeah.
we got to main stage probably about a third of the way into Frank's set.
Oh, sorry, I tell a lie. We went from there to Avalanche.
Yes, because we went to see Low Lives.
Yes.
Yes.
And Low Lives were fun. Nothing
Very
to
fun.
report from Low Lives.
Very fun.
They were just a fun, dirty rock and roll band, and I had a good
Yes.
time with them. It's nice to see Stitch D doing something that isn't the Defiled.
Yes.
It was wonderful to see him still doing music.
Absolutely. So yes,
So, yeah.
we got to main
Then-
stage just before Frank
Then we
Carter.
went to, yeah, and Frank was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Someone stole his chain.
the little cretin that nicked his 10-year-old fucking 18-karat gold chain. You're a fucker and you can fuck off. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And after Frank
And
was
then-
Baby Metal.
Baby Metal came on and got a song and a half into their set.
Yeah.
And the heavens opened and they got a showstop.
Yep. Thunder and lightning warning.
Yep. So that delayed that set for a good 20 minutes.
Yep. So when they
Ben
came
filmed
back
a
on.
clip
Yeah.
in his little poncho, which is the funniest clip of the entire video. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it.
Me
It's fucking
huddled
great.
with my poncho over me because it was raining sideways again.
It is my favourite clip in the entire video.
Yeah.
And then we, so they came on, done 2 more songs, and then had to go. I felt really bad for them.
Yeah.
It was like
But
they deserved the longer set.
they
But
did, however, festival timings and all that kind of thing. If
Yeah.
they
No,
could
I
have
get
given
it.
them more time, they would have done.
I get it. More on that on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that.
But yeah, it was
Then
a
we had-
bittersweet. But then it was Enter Shikari.
And they were fantastic.
They were
and
great.
Rao was at one with the mud.
Yes. As I later saw on Twitter a couple of days after we got back, after Rao had flopped into the mud and got up, all you could hear
That
him
was a-
say was,
That was a
"That was a
stupid
really
idea.
silly idea."
Yep. I've
It
seen
was.
I've seen a video from the perspective of his dresser.
She must hate him.
In the crowd, and she's like, "Oh, Rao,
Yep. But it's Rao.
what
You
are
can't stop him.
doing?"
But
Yeah,
Enter Shikari were brilliant. They were really
Yeah,
good.
they
They
were.
put on a great show.
it was incident free. Oh, I mean, until Rao's IAM stopped working.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and then we had the Offspring,
Yes.
who were surprisingly good.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great.
I've heard nothing but bad things about the Offspring live,
Yeah.
but they killed it.
Yes. It was a very, very good set. I think I went to go get food while they were playing.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. But I could still see the screens because thankfully this year, inside the Access platform at main stage, there was a food van just for Access
Awesome.
customers, which was brilliant because it meant that obviously there was still queues at busy times, but it meant that you didn't have to traipse through the mud to go and find food. I mean, we did most of the other days. The only reason we got food from that food van there and then is because we were both starving and didn't know what we wanted, and I went, I'm just going to go get burgers. But you know what? They were pretty good burgers.
Yeah, I mean they were edible.
Yeah. For a festival, they were passable and filled a hole.
Did what you needed them to do.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't terrible. They weren't amazing.
Mhm.
Um,
Then we had Fall Out Boy, who
killed it.
put on one of the best sets of the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. They killed it. First headline show at Download, and yeah, I'd happily see them come back.
Yeah, they proved the point. They made a step.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
However, at one point throughout Fall Out Boy, Dan needed the loo.
Yeah, so I went for a pee, and I had the silver wristband that gives you priority access to the toilet.
Yeah.
However, the stewards on the accessible toilets hadn't been briefed on what those meant.
Yeah.
So usually when I need to go to the toilet, I need to go yesterday, as I've shown twice in this video already.
Yes.
I had a 45-minute wait for a piss.
Yeah.
On Saturday night.
Yeah. But not only that, towards the end of Fall Out Boy's set, when Dan needed the toilet,
yes,
we went round to the toilets. Every single one of the accessible portaloos on main stage platform were out of order.
Yeah.
With not so much as a sorry, just a, oh well, you'll have to either use the companion ones or go over there, and pointed to the main toilet block. Where there were no stewards directing traffic to the accessible toilets, everyone was using them.
Luckily, I'm in a position where I can use regular portaloo.
It's a struggle, but you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but I can do it.
Yeah.
What if I couldn't?
Yeah. There were plenty of people on the platform that wouldn't have been able to.
What about the customers who physically can't get out of their chairs to use the toilet?
Yeah.
Who need to transfer?
Yeah. Like,
you know,
and the fact that I think pretty much every year in the accessible platform that we've been to anyway, main stage, it's always had urinals.
Yeah. Last 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, no, it didn't last year.
It did.
Oh, yes, no, it did. It did,
yeah,
yes.
It did.
Yeah, it did.
You had the block of toilets and then the urinals, and then we had a delicate bottom.
Yeah, why not put urinals in there? That would have alleviated 50% of the problems.
It would have meant I wouldn't have to wait 45 minutes for a fucking piss.
Yeah. But, you know, another thing to add to the list. But thankfully, from on the Sunday, it was a lot better with access to toilets and everything. There was people that were, all they were doing all day was directing toilet traffic.
Yeah, and prioritising silver responses.
Yeah. I mean, there were still people that jumped the queue like numpties, but you're always going to get that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so other than, you know, the bogs being out of use on the platform, Saturday was pretty good, other than weather.
Yeah. The weather was the big letdown on the Saturday.
Yeah. But we still made the most of it. We still had a good day.
That's what you can do in that kind of situation. Though.
Yeah, like someone commented on the Facebook, you know, the weather was crap, but we sort of expected bad weather because it's Download and you just make the most of it and you pack accordingly, which is what we did.
Well, stay tuned to the end of the video. I've got a lovely message from a friend of ours, which echoes a sentiment very similar.
Yes.
Which will be read in full. So, yeah.
Yes. So, I guess, once we got back from Fall Out Boy, SD and Kieran came and chilled.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Yeah, I think we were sat up till probably gone 1 o'clock.
It was about 2:30 by the time we got into bed.
Yeah. It was just, again, like listening to the sound of the rain on the tent. Dan got a brilliant video, which I'm not sure if I actually put in to the vlog. But Dan got just lying in bed, just the sound of the rain on the tent, and it was so soothing. I mean, it was horrific when I needed to go to the toilet, but inside the tent when you're dry, it was so soothing, and I think I fell asleep like that.
We both did fairly quickly.
Yeah. So then that brings us on to Sunday.
Yeah, so it was a delayed start.
Yeah, by 2 hours.
Yeah.
Arena was supposed to open at 10. It didn't open till 12, but there were bands that were meant to be playing from 11. So essentially, they just moved everyone up a little bit, and just gave them shorter set times.
Yeah.
So Lords of the Lost, who were meant to play at 11 and get 40 minutes, ended up playing at 12 to an empty field because the arena had literally just opened when they started playing, and got 20 minutes. So by the time they got to the end of their set, there was maybe 200 people in front of them.
Very sad.
Yeah, which is a shame because they were really good.
Yeah, then we had Code Orange,
which were Code Orange. Enough
who
said.
were fantastic until their singer had a little tantrum.
Yeah.
Because their set time.
It's worth mentioning that Sunday we were just main stage all day. There were other than like Corey Taylor and a couple others where we sort of went. Well, this was once we'd found out Electric Callboy weren't playing the festival. We found out on the Sunday that Callboy had to pull out because Nico was unwell, which is a shame because I really wanted to see them, but obviously health comes first.
Of course.
So once we found out that Callboy weren't playing, we just made the decision stay on main stage all day because it's going to be busy at the platform, and it was within the first 2 hours.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people were there for Avenged.
I mean, that was the first day to sell out as well. So
yeah. So we basically watched every single band on main stage.
We did watch every single band on main stage.
Yeah.
Some are good. Some are great. Some are terrible.
Kerry King can quite happily not come back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was just sad.
Yeah. However, Bowling for Soup, brilliant. Loved them, even though they were missing one of their vocalists and guitar players. Sum 41, brilliant. We'd love to have had them back.
Right, stop now, okay? So, Sum 41 played the festival set of their fucking lives.
Yes.
My God, just to think that man a year ago was on death's door.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we will never get the chance to see that again.
At Download.
At a UK festival.
Yes.
Because
however, they have just announced 5 dates in the UK today.
Yes, they are playing a tour next year, but we'll never see the full festival experience from them, at least in the UK, forever. Because Download was their last ever UK festival show.
Yes.
Cry.
So that was Sum 41, and then we had
Biscuit.
Biscuit,
who opened and closed with the same song.
Yes, they played Break Stuff twice.
Yes. But to be fair, it is their hit.
Yeah, fuck off.
It is their hit.
They've got fucking loads of songs. Shut the fuck up.
But Break Stuff is the one that you think of whenever anyone says Limp Bizkit.
Rolling.
Well, that too, yeah. But I think because Break Stuff is such a crowd pleaser, it was a case of we'll play it twice.
They done a blistering cover of Behind Blue Eyes as well.
Yes, absolutely.
That was lovely.
Yeah, I was messaging one of my friends from work because I went to go and get food as Limp Bizkit came on. We got Bunny Chow again. And I sort of sent him a video of them doing Break Stuff. And he went, "They're opening with this." And then in all caps, "That's a closer." And then I messaged him again at the end. He was like, "Yeah, they're closing with it too." He was like, "What? Twice in the series?" Yeah, it's Limp Bizkit, don't argue.
Was that Sam?
Yeah, that was Sam. Um, but yeah,
Shout out, Sam.
but yeah. To be fair, I'm not a huge Limp Bizkit fan, but it was
Yeah,
great.
I I am, and spent about a third of the set stood up,
Yeah, yeah.
which probably contributed to my physical state afterwards.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely, more than likely.
um,
Um,
like,
but also,
yeah,
the one thing we need to mention about Sunday, it was sunny.
yeah, yeah, I
For
got
the
sunburn.
first time all damn weekend, it was sunny.
Yeah, my knees, my hands, my nose, my face,
Yeah,
and my thigh for some reason
yeah,
all got sunburn.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Limp Bizkit put on a brilliant show. And then we had Avenged.
Yeah, so just before we get on to event, um, I was all right for about an hour after the biscuit set.
Mm. Bear in mind the changeover between Limp Bizkit and Avenged was an hour.
Yeah, and then I think it was about so for about 50 minutes after Limp Biscuit,
Yeah,
I was fine. My back was hurting a little bit, but
but that's a standard
like
nowadays, isn't it?
yeah. Plus 5 days on a camping bed won't be helping.
No,
Um,
no, absolutely not.
and then like their backing track started playing, and my gas tank emptied,
Yeah,
and I'm just sat there with my head in my hands, just fucking shiver. I was done.
yeah,
And like, I mean, as Ben could see that I was done.
yeah. But
And
as I said earlier in the video, big thank you to Dan for powering through right to the end of Avenged set.
it was a long fucking set.
Yeah, it was a good hour and a half, if not an hour and 50.
It was a lot longer than that, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
there was a moment, there was a fucking hilarious bit about halfway through where you checked set times, and
yeah.
I misheard you, and I thought you said they still have an hour left. Genuinely, I've never felt despair like I was like, oh, not another fucking hour.
I remember this.
Man, I'm cold, I'm tired, and my back
No,
hurts. I just want to go to sleep. And you were
no.
like, no, dude, I've been on for an hour. Oh, thank fuck for that.
Yeah. But to be fair, they were playing like an hour and 40 minutes, so it was close enough.
Yeah.
But yes, I think,
Um,
Avenged were great. Like, so glad. Funny enough, we're talking about Avenged. I've just had a X notification pop up from Sinister Gates.
oh, how many NFTs is he selling today?
It says, that was absolutely epic, and I was crying tears of happiness. I think they played another festival last night. Um,
I think they were Pugil Pop last night.
yeah, probably. But yeah, like, it's always been a dream to see Avenged live. Sadly, never got a chance to see them with the Rev or with Portnoy. But that was a dream come true. That night was a dream come true, and
Yeah.
it was a little more special seeing them with Dan, because in the band that we used to play in, we covered Nightmare as one of the songs at every gig, and it was the
Yeah.
biggest crowd pleaser we did. And
That's
I think
fucking
there was
AI.
one point like halfway through Nightmare, and he said, "I hope they don't play Nightmare. I'm going to be a crying mess." And I looked back at him halfway through the second chorus, and we were both just singing at each other. It was
I'm
so
pretty sure
good.
I was playing along to the drum part on the
Absolutely,
back of the
yeah. I was playing the air guitar part and singing the vocals that I would sing on the song when we played it live.
on the back of your leg. It was always just one part though. Always just that one part on the back of your leg.
Yeah,
Like, ding, 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 ding.
yeah. Always that
Um,
little ride thing, but
yeah,
it was
yeah,
special. However, at the end of that song,
yeah. So the
the
last like minute enough, the minute 40 of the song,
yeah,
the PA blew.
yeah, yeah,
So
but the
yeah,
band didn't realise.
what was really hilarious about that though was when the band did realise, they're all just stood about like Matt stood on stage with his hands on his hips, but
It's
he's still
like,
got the fucking he's still got the AI fucking Grim
yeah,
Reaper shit going on.
yes,
So it's just a bunch of really confused Grim Reapers on
yeah.
stage just looking at each other like.
It was great. But to be fair, they got it sorted fairly rapidly. I think it was about 3 or 4 minutes, and they were back on playing the next song, which I
Well,
think was Beast in the Harlot.
they came back on and played Unholy Confessions,
Yes, that was it.
and then
Um,
they did a little piece, and then they've done the last three that they always do on this run,
God, yeah.
which is God. So
Um,
yeah,
but that brought the music of the weekend to a close.
yeah. So now we had to get back to camp.
Yeah. When I say 3 people,
And
that's
the
how,
power scooter.
and a power scooter, that's how many it took to get Dan out of the access platform. It was just mud bath by that point. But once we were onto the trackway, it was plain sailing for the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
part. Speaking of the trackway in the arena, it was mentioned loads and loads on the Facebook group. How many people would stand on the
yeah,
trackway watching bands
yeah.
and then get pissy when people in
Mm.
wheelchairs or scooters needed to come through? It's like, dude, that's not there for you to stand
So
on. That's there for accessible patrons to get around.
I got incredibly annoyed with this on Saturday night, if you can
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
I wasn't a happy boy.
yeah. You were ready to just run over toes.
Yeah, I think I did at one stage. Yeah.
Probably, but
I mean,
serves him right.
tell them you were safe this year, but it's all good.
No, no, no. Wednesday night, I think you ran over my feet about 12 times.
Not you, you twat. I don't care about running you over. It's all
Oh,
part of your fucking job. Callum.
oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, other than slight issues getting out of the arena, it was basically straight back to camp and then to bed.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I
we
think
sat up for a little bit.
chilled for about an hour, had a beer, and
Yeah,
then yeah.
decompressed, and
Mhm.
then
It took
Monday.
about 45 minutes to get my boots off because they were muddy.
Yeah, and yeah, went to bed probably about midnight. Um,
Yeah.
and then yeah, Monday was pack down day, which to be honest
Yeah.
was pretty smooth because it had been dry
Yeah.
Sunday. The campsite was fairly dry. I still had to go all the way around the trackway to bring the car onto site to load up, but it was plain sailing on Monday. Not much traffic coming out of the site. Just a little bit going on down towards the traffic lights at the end of the road. And yeah, I eventually got back home probably half 11.
Yeah. It was
Dan,
about,
we got
it was
Dan
about
back
10
about
past. It was about 10 past when I messaged you saying that you're home by it. Yeah.
yeah, probably got Dan back about 10 past 20 past 6.
Well, thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but no, Monday was fine. Like
Yeah.
stewards, like I think just getting onto the campsite, there was about 4 stewards that stopped me and went, "Okay, do you know where you're going?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just that corner, just round there." And they're like, "Cool, on you go. Have a good day."
Like,
And they were all happy,
yeah, where,
smiley.
where were you
Um,
on Wednesday?
yeah. Um, but yeah, it was pretty plain sailing getting off site. To be fair.
Yeah. What I
Um,
thought was great was that I waited until Ben was home before I settled down.
yeah,
And so I sent him a message saying, dude, are you back yet? He's like, no, and I'm like 20 minutes away. I was like, all right, cool. And then I messaged him again about 25 minutes later because I don't think he realized he thought to message back. 'Cause, you get in the house and you just want
yeah,
to fucking
yeah. I mean,
decompress and
I
like
still had
fucking
to like unload the car and all that kind of thing.
to hell
But
with wheelchair boy. I'm done with him for a few weeks, that sort of deal.
yeah,
Um, I love you too. Um,
he can't see me, but I'm giving a big cheesy grin and 2 thumbs up.
I mean, fuck ass had to be sorry. It's fine.
Yeah.
I text him at about fucking 25 to 22 going, dude, are you back? And he went, yes, I'm home. Go to sleep.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I actually told him to go to sleep because he was
Yeah,
already
stop,
shattered.
stop worrying. I'm home. Go
Yeah,
to sleep.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was sort of the end of the weekend. I mean, I went and saw some family. As you saw in the video, after I dropped down off, I went to see my gran for her birthday because it was her birthday on the
yeah.
Monday.
Shout out to Grant because she is good.
Yes. And then yeah, I ended up doing the drive back to Liverpool in one hit from Sunderland,
Yeah.
which was intense. Towards the end of it, I was getting like I could pull over, but by that point I'd passed the last services. I was like, I'm 20 minutes away from home. I'm just gonna do it, and I did it.
My man was tasting colours. Like,
Yes, shapes and colours. Um, but yeah, and then I think it was the Tuesday I started editing the vlog, and eventually got it up on Thursday morning. I think it was.
yes,
But yeah, there was
banging insane numbers. But
yeah, there's a couple
so yeah,
other little things to touch on before we move on
yes,
to honourable mentions.
there's
Poison Gate.
yeah. So apparently there was a few food vendors poisoning people this year.
Yeah, the
Lunchbox,
reports.
which isn't the real Munchbox, apparently was using a facade.
Yeah, and one of the
Um,
Yorkshire pudding wrap vans.
yeah,
I don't know whether they're all owned by the same person or whether it's three separate ones, but one of them.
I think it's a franchise.
Yeah, so I think it was specifically the one by Dogtooth, if I'm right.
Right.
It was either the one by Dogtooth or the one by Second Stage was the one that was being dodged.
Right.
And one of the food vendors that was caused an outbreak of food poisoning was actually shut down at the festival on day 2
Yeah.
and have been told they're not welcome back, which is good. Good swift response from Download. But yeah, it's never good. I mean, it's always going to happen. There's going to be one or two cases because it happens. Like, with the best will in the world, it's going to happen to at least one person out of 70,000.
Well, statistically, yeah.
Yes. Because it might not even be the food vendor's fault. It might just have, there is something in that food that you may have a reaction to that you didn't know and all that kind of thing. But yeah, there is going to be some sickness at a festival from the food, whether it be caused by the vendor or the person or whatever. But then there was also a few people mentioned on the Facebook page about inaccessibility in RIP. So there was one person, let me see if I can find the post or the comment. Yeah, so one person was supposed to be staying in Sleepy Hollow, which is one of the RIP campsites, but they were moved to accommodate bell tents, which should have been in Metal Meadow 2. So where they were moved to, the showers and toilets weren't accessible at all to those with mobility issues. Which, even when we were in RIP, I think every single campsite in RIP had at least one accessible toilet and shower.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that we had was on the wonk quite a bit, but it was still accessible. Just.
Yeah. Can I just say real quick, little cameo.
Hello, Gizmo.
Yeah.
This Festival Access Network vlog is brought to you by Gizmo the... Oh, that's perfect. The video's just frozen on Gizmo's face. Oh, there we go. Everyone loves a cat break.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people in RIP were having major accessibility issues apparently because they weren't catered for, which you think if you pay upwards of £2,000 for some packages per person, you would have some accessible facilities, but no.
Yeah.
couple other little points of the queuing, which we've touched on. Um,
Well, apparently, I've been informed by a couple of friends of mine.
mm,
Uh, some of the security were acting inappropriately towards some of the women
oh,
as they were being searched and what have you.
oh, to enter the festival.
Yeah, into the arena.
Ah, yeah.
Um,
Don't do that.
yeah, no, that's just creepy and predatory. And we have a story from our friend Frog. Um, uh, there's no way in hell am I pronouncing his real name. It's Bulgarian, not happening. It's a lot of
Uh,
vowels.
I'm guessing
Uh,
Frog is clan.
his clan, yes.
Let's throw that
Who
up.
has a story about another friend of ours, Jimmy, who had an issue on site. So, Ben, if you'd like to take that away.
Yes, I can't quite see it on my screen. Let me just make that a bit bigger.
That is, in fact, what
There
she
we
said.
go. So, story. Friday
Mm.
was helping Jimmy out. Went to Arena Medical Tent to look for help, because a very lovely RIP camping guard told us that's where I can look for help. You would think, medical issue, medical tent, two and two together. Explained the situation, explained that Jim couldn't make it to the arena or the main medical tent. One of the paramedics basically threw a wobbly. And goes on, it's on the screen as you can see, but essentially they attempted to make it to the medical tent, couldn't, so she went back, and the same paramedic went off on her again.
Him.
Sorry, on him again. And just made it completely uncomfortable. Didn't give them a chance to explain what was going on, and it basically just seemed like that paramedic was having a really bad day and taking it out on him. But yeah, shame on you, paramedic.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad. But we've also had.
There's a message from Andy as well.
Whoa, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Ah! I've done bad things. There we go.
What did you
Oh,
do?
hang on. Sorry, everyone. I've just completely cocked up the video.
What did you do?
I cocked things up
How?
by being. No, it's fine. I've fixed it now. I've fixed it.
We're leaving that in.
Yes, we are. We are absolutely leaving that in. So. Yeah, so there's another story from Ren when they were trying to go through the crowd to get to the toilet, and there was someone behind them coming up with crutches, and asked this rather large guy standing on the path if he could, step aside for a moment, and was shoved and told to fuck off.
No,
Like, that was to
Andy
an
is one of the-
able-bodied customer.
Andy's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Why you would want to do that to him? Beggars Billy.
I know, it's stupid. There's
Yeah.
there's another one here from Ghost.
Yeah, he's an access customer.
Yeah,
And read that while I go for a quick wee. That's all I've done this video.
I know, it's great. But yes, the access was all right. More security next to the accessible toilets in the main arena. We touched on that earlier because it basically just anyone and everyone was using them. And like no one checking for wristbands at the toilet area or anything like that, which there should have been. To be fair though, I think this year was the first year that I've seen in the main arena at least where they've had accessible portaloos next to the Gen Pop portaloos. I think last year the only accessible toilets were at the platforms in the stages. I mean, we still ended up going to the general loos anyway because there was like big banks of urinals and stuff that we could have used. But yeah, please sort of look after them more. Like, put a member of security on there. Have a sectioned off area with the accessible toilets in their own area with a member of security. Like, it makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for Dan to get back, and we'll catch up in a couple of minutes. Oh, Dan's a coming! He can hear me. But yeah, no, I did see a lot of little things like that that could have definitely been improved upon. And then while Dan's on the way back, we will have a look at a comment from the wonderful friend that has came and chilled with us a couple of times. Our lovely, lovely friend Esty.
Yeah.
Says it was mainly fine, although I'm surprised they didn't put any kind of straw down at the entrance exit to between the campsite and the arena. Yeah, that was a mud bath, and the trackway was not wide enough at all. It was, as Esty says, a bit of a war zone, and they were camped right next to that as well. Like, they could literally come out of their tent, turn right, and they're on the walkway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they put...
I spent the first 2 days of the festival going past them and waving at them before I knew who the fuck they were.
Yes. But yeah, so they could have put straw down, but even then, the straw didn't really help. It just made matters a bit worse.
It just clogged wheels.
It clogged wheels, and my wellies. I put my wellies down on I think the Sunday. Stepped onto the straw that was on the mud, sunk in about 3 inches, lifted my boot out, and there was about that much straw and mud cake on the bottom of my wellie. It was just flapping off. I think gravel or sawdust would have been better.
Something that could absorb.
Yes. And then
hitting it would be way better.
We're now pushing on an hour and a half, if not more.
Yeah, so I think it might be an idea to wrap up.
Yes, so we'll flash up this one from our lovely friend Collie.
Yeah, shout out to our beaming ray of positivity. That is Collie. Absolute star.
Yes. Personally, didn't have any issues that affected their enjoyment of the festival, but the biggest bugbear was probably the walk back to the car park after packing, knowing there would be only staff in the arena. There could possibly have been a lot of plastic paths, and relocated them from the arena to the worst parts of the walk back to the car parks. We didn't personally see that because we were parked basically on next to the racetrack. So all of our journey to the car was all on concrete.
Well, mine was from campsite.
Well, yours was 5 meters across the road, but yeah. But yeah, Collie says overall it's a mentality thing. Maybe not for accessibility customers, obviously, but if you know it's going to be shit weather, expect the ground to be shit and not ever be better over the course of 5 days. Embrace the fun, company, community, music, and overall opportunity to escape the reality for a few days. That's what the sunset pick at the end is all about for me. No matter the chaos of the conditions or the craziness of the pits, all you can do is take it in stride and enjoy it.
And I'll make sure Ben puts the sunset picture in.
Yes.
Just so you guys can see.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
Despite the problems, despite some of the issues, despite the good bits, it was another incredible weekend. I had loads of fun because it's download for me is my holiday. Download is my summer
Yeah.
holiday from work. And okay, it sometimes does feel like I'm at work a little bit because I do that kind of thing for a living. But I'm normally on the other side of it. I'm normally on the backstage end, or on the organisation side of that, not the punter side. So
It's not. It's not all like enjoyment either, because obviously you have the element of having to look after me.
yeah. But at the same
So
time, I've done it that many times and for that long that it's just second nature for me now.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's not exactly. I don't take a great deal of looking after.
no,
So
no,
um,
it's mainly first thing in the morning, helping you get ready, helping you get to bed, and then periodically throughout the day for various other little bits and bobs.
as
Um,
long as I've got a beer in my hand, I'm a happy man at a
yeah,
festival.
like there could have been times that I could have wandered off for an hour and Dan would have been fine, but then I'd never forgive myself if something happened and I wasn't there.
Yeah, we were surrounded by a great group of people
Yeah,
as well. Shout out to Rob and
um,
Mel.
yeah,
The
like everyone made the weekend what it was, despite the weather. We just got on and enjoyed it, and it's a bit of rain. We'll dry. Things
yeah,
will get clean. Um,
we're, you know,
yeah, and you know what? Can't wait to do it all again next year.
hopefully a slightly drier weekend, but yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I've had a wet download now. I can have two more dry ones. But yes, thank you so much for watching. It has been a bit of a long one. It's been a bit ranty in places, but we felt that it needed to be said. Um,
Yeah,
and if you've got any questions, our email will be in the description. Drop us there. Drop us a message on Twitter. I'm toying with the idea of starting an Instagram, toying with the idea
yeah.
of starting a Facebook page. It's just as and when I've got the time to do it. The thing with Instagram is we can both do it. The thing with Twitter is we can both have access to it. The thing with the Facebook page is only I can have access to it because Dan detests Facebook with a passion. So, yeah, drop us an email. One of us will respond. Drop us a message on Twitter. One of us will respond.
Or a comment here. Likelihood is I'll respond to you fairly quickly
Yeah,
if you do.
yeah. Comments on the video is probably the easiest way to get in touch because we both get notified straight away when it happens. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been
Yes.
a fun deep dive over the last close to 2 hours.
It's been nice looking back on it as well.
Yeah,
It's been,
remembering
yeah.
little funny bits, and like we didn't want this to just be all about bad bits. We threw in the good bits as well
Yeah.
because that's what download's about. But yeah,
Oh yeah. Also, so shout out to the fucker who went to download with coronavirus.
oh yeah,
Fuck you.
there was reports of some people contracting corona, Dan included. So,
I
but yes,
slept 7 hours on Wednesday. I was fucked.
yeah, but yes,
But yes,
thank you so much for watching. Like, comment,
we love you.
subscribe, all that good stuff. Um,
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're recording this on the 24th. I'm hoping to have it out 26th, if not sooner, depending on
Yeah.
how long it takes me to edit.
Wednesday, hopefully. It's quite a big video. So
Yeah. Thankfully, it doesn't take near as much editing as the normal vlogs do because I've got very little actual video to pack in.
yeah, it's mostly fucking head stuff, isn't it?
Yes. But yes, thank you so much. Here is the picture of the sunset. Oh, that side. Here's the picture of the sunset, covering Dan's
Which
face
side?
right now.
Oh, okay.
But yes, thank you so much for watching. And our
We'll
next
see you
video
in September.
is September, unless we decide to do something random and off the cuff. But we'll see.
I'd like to, but it's finding the time.
It's finding the time. Oh, yes. I was planning on doing, Dan doesn't know this, but I was planning on doing, because I'm working Creamfields at the end of August.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
I was planning on doing a little walk around the arena and maybe the campsites. Depends, because I can access the campsites as well. Having a little walk around the arena with my camera and just seeing what sort of accessible facilities they've got.
That would be fun.
Because if I remember rightly from last year, I didn't see any viewing platforms. I saw a couple of
You weren't,
accessible
you weren't,
portaloos.
you weren't looking for them though.
No, I was.
Oh,
A lot of the stages down near where I was didn't see any platforms. Didn't see
oh,
one at second stage, which was right behind my stage. I didn't go to main stage, so there might have been one there. But in any of the tents or anything that we had people on, didn't see any access platforms whatsoever.
interesting.
So, if I remember and I have time, I will do a little arena walk at Creamfields, and we'll just see how accessible it could be, and then
Well,
maybe do a little bit of a talking head thing again afterwards to go through it.
when when I know he's on site, I'll drop him a message and remind him.
That's if my phone has signal. It
Yeah.
is
Speaking of
awful.
signal, I have fantastic signal. This.
Yes, I did not. But anyway, we're waffling. We've added another 10 minutes on.
No,
Um,
no.
so, thank you again so much for watching. We will see you
Yeah.
either at the start of September by the time I'll have had it edited for a Creamfields accessibility spy thing.
Expose.
Yeah. Or it'll be mid to end September when we go and see Cannibal Corpse at Victoria Warehouse, Manchester.
Corpse is the 27th.
Yeah,
So.
so it'll be end of September, start of October. But
And
yes,
that'll be a full vlog with travel both ends included.
yes.
For me.
So, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will catch you guys in about a month. Tatty
Love you
buys.
guys.